Today I received a package for the post from Elastic Stage, print on demand, vinyl and CD, and I have a couple of albums that I've been working on. Today one of those projects has come for the post, so I'm going to open up the package over here and show you the product and discuss my thoughts and feelings with regards to the service that Elastic Stage offers, the good sides and sides that I think could be improved for a print-on-demand company. So I have opened this already, but this is how it comes packaged, and this is the CD I've made and ordered for Elastic Stage. As you can see, it looks pretty good. Okay, so I designed all the artwork myself. The music on this CD is a collaboration between myself, Tempered Truth, and my mate Jez Sugars, who's a poet. Okay, and this is an EP basically, which we have printed both on vinyl and on the CD. He's ordered the vinyl, so he's going to be doing a video on that soon. I ordered a CD because I still have CD players, and it's my CDJs here. Looking at this, I'm actually really pleased. It looks really good. It's good quality cardboard. One thing I was worried about was the CD. I wasn't sure whether the print on the CD would be like some kind of like cheap sticker stuck on, but it feels professional. It doesn't feel like a sticker stuck on. It feels like it's printed on there, but that looks really cool, so I'm pleased with that. The resolution on small writing is good. So I've put this into the CD player already.
I am software built on hardware, made of muscle and bone. In my ice bath, I can forget to think. I let go of all this delusional language because of you. It's beautiful. Insects, butterflies, birds, dragonflies, all headaches washed away by summer rains.
So all the tracks play and sound as intended. There's no defaults of the CD. There's no skipping or bogus kind of audio on there. It is exactly as I put it onto the website. So what I want to do now is basically show you how I put the CD onto the website. Okay, first of all, you need to create an account. Once you've created an account, you can go to the release page and click on Create Release. At this moment, you have the option to select the type of release. In this case, a CD album. You put in the title of the release under the scalpel for this demonstration, and then you can put in a barcode number if you have one, but otherwise click on Create Release and they'll give you one. Select the release and you put in your metadata, so that'll be the title, the primary artist, the release date if you want one. Then you can select the price, and you've got 3 tiers here: full, premium and deluxe, but we'll discuss that in more detail later on. Then you have territory, which is already set to worldwide, limited edition if you want it, record label, copyright, and then press save. Load your tracks like so. Select your tracks from your computer and they will upload. It will take longer than this. This has been sped up. Once you've got your tracks up, you can move them around into the correct order. Let's say, for example, if they didn't load in the correct order. So once you've put them in the right order, you'll go to Done, and it will likely tell you that some information is missing. At this point, you click on each track, and you can then at this point you can name the tracks exactly as you want to see them. Get rid of any unnecessary information. Then you put the songwriter information, composer information, and then click save for that track. You'll have to do this for each track, so it might be quicker if there's any information which you're putting on each track which is the same, like the songwriter, composer, just copy and paste it from each one. Once you've done all 10 tracks and you've double checked all the information is correct, click on Done and you can upload your artwork. You have 2 options here: AI version, I'm guessing, and then your own artwork, which I am uploading my own artwork here. So once you've uploaded the artwork, you'll need to upload the disk image as well. And then this is the cool part. Once you've uploaded your artwork, it gives you a 3D animated render of your CD, which I think is probably the coolest part of this whole process. It's a shame they don't actually allow you to have a download of this that you can use to promote your material on social medias and so on, because it looks really cool. I mean, there is a download button here, but that doesn't download the animation, it just downloads the artwork you've uploaded or the AI wizard generated artwork. Final thing to do is lock the release when you're happy, and then create a release group if you have both vinyl and CD, which you want grouped into one under one title. Once you've got all your albums up, or album, go to your page. This is where you'll create the page where your albums will be displayed on the website. So I've already got one here, but click on new page if you haven't. And then when you click on new page, this kind of information will appear. Add the title of your page or image of yourself, a header image, and then any kind of metadata, bio. You can also connect your YouTube channel and your Instagram. And when you've done that and saved it, you can go up to the top here and type in your name. And you'll get to see the page where your album will be displayed when people come to look for it. On here you can see my YouTube and some posts from Instagram, only 2, which is strange. It'd be nice if that went all the way along the bottom as well. And the bio at the bottom, which also would be better at the top. And then the album, click on the album group. And here you can see under that album is both vinyl and CD. And you have this image. Bottom, you have some description of the album. So when you create an album release, you can put in a description of the album. You've got the plays down the bottom here, so you can sample each tune. And when you sample a tune, so yeah, the record spins, and that's really good. Visually and physically, I'm dead pleased with the product. The resolution and the quality of the images is good. The colour, in comparison to the artwork I put up on the website, is pretty much exactly the same. Having listened to it on my CD player, everything's playing exactly as I expected it to. So this is not really going to be a discussion from now on about the actual product, but more about Elastic Stage and my thoughts about Elastic Stage. The good is, if you're a small-time artist and you want to buy a CD or a vinyl of your work, then you can get individual copies made, because not everybody has hundreds of pounds that they can spend on buying 20, 50, 100, however many, whatever the minimum order is. Most of these websites have a minimum order, so you can buy your CDs for a reasonable price and sell them at gigs and so on, but you are restricted to buying, usually 20 is the minimum as far as I can tell. Some of them may be more than that. I've been looking online, there's a website called Band CD. They look pretty good. They've got many different types of product you can buy, lots of different options as to how the CD can look. You've got loads of different options for customization, so you can choose the CD color, so you can have pink CDs, green CDs. You can even buy tapes and mini discs, all sorts of technology which is pretty retro and old school now, but if you want it, you can get it on that website. And I think when I put my CD on there and looked at how much 20 CDs would cost me, somewhere around about £110-ish, give or take, and that worked out roughly just over £5 per unit. That's not bad, because obviously you could take £5 per unit and you could go to a gig if you're doing electronic music open mic nights, or if you're a full-on band, you can sell those CDs for £10, probably about the average you get a CD at a gig or a festival, maybe more, maybe it's gone up since I last went to a festival. £10, and you're still making about £5 profit per CD. The problem is, if you're not a big band, or if you're not doing gigging and you're buying these CDs and you're relying on selling them on something like Bandcamp, then you have got a lot of CDs lying around waiting for you to sell them, so you don't really get your money back. Actually, you only have to sell half of them to get your money back, but then you don't make any profit until you've sold the rest. The idea of a print-on-demand company where you can just print individual copies and you're not committed to buying a bulk load for a shitload of money and having the stock lying around seems really, really appealing. So this is kind of where the flaw for what Elastic Stage, what they're offering and how it will work for the little man, doesn't really work for the little man. When you put a CD on Elastic Stage, you are held in to their price ranges. You have 3 tiers: the full price range, a premium price range, and a deluxe price range. The full price range is probably what you would expect to pay for a CD in this day and age, which isn't bad considering CDs really haven't gone up in price in the last 10, 20 years at all. They've stayed very, very consistent in price, which is great. The price is about £12, £13 for a CD, and that's the full tier, which is the lowest price bracket. After that, it goes up to a premium, which is more money, so the customer has to pay more money. Deluxe, which is even more money again. So you'd think that with the names premium and deluxe, that actually you'll be getting a more premium product or a more deluxe product, but that's not the case. The product is the same regardless. Price tier just basically means as the artist, you can charge more money, get a better royalty payment on the products you do sell. But unless you are a really sought after artist or you have a really dedicated bunch of followers, I don't think many people are actually going to pay the higher price brackets for the premium and the deluxe when the full price is about what you would expect to pay for a CD in this day and age. And considering we've got Amazon out there and you can buy CDs on Amazon very, very competitively, how many people really do pay the extra money? I mean, sometimes when you get a limited edition product, you actually are getting a limited edition product. It's got different box, extra content, but you're not getting that elastic stage. So that's one thing to bear in mind. The other thing to bear in mind, if you are an author, most print on demands, I say most print on demands, my only experience of print on demand is Amazon. I got a book printed, published through Amazon, KDP. When you put a book on Amazon, they have a price which is the print price. So that's how much money it costs them to print the book and some extra to make it worth their while. Anything else you add to the price after that, potentially your royalty, or you are in charge, basically you are in charge of how much the book goes online for. Although that's being said, Amazon will reduce the price if they don't think it's selling and it's not competitive. Albeit, the print price of the books on Amazon is the price that the author pays if an author wants his own copy. So if I wanted to buy a copy of my own book, or a handful of books, so I've got them to sell to people at maybe a book reading or whatever, I can buy my own book, as many copies as I want, 1, 20, 30, I can buy all of those books at print cost. Let's say, for example, the book cost me £5 print cost. I buy those books, obviously with postage and packaging on top, and then I can sell them for £10 and I make the profit. Elastic Stage, on the other hand, even as an artist, the artist or the producer of the CD, if you've uploaded it, when you buy a copy of your own CD, you don't get your CD at print cost. The CD costs £15. If I sell my CD to a customer, I will get a royalty on the CD. Let's say the royalty is £3 per CD. So that means that the remaining cost, the remaining £12 of the cost, goes to Elastic Stage, which is fair enough. They've printed and produced the product and they've sent it out to the customer. So why then, if I buy my own CD, do I still have to buy it for £15? Why can't I buy the CD at £12, the cost without royalties, and then I can sell it for £15 for customers and make £3 out of it? You can get CDs reduced on Elastic Stage, but you have to buy quite a large number. I'm going to have a look online in a bit and to show you how many you have to buy before you get discount. But if you have to buy 20 copies of a CD on Elastic Stage to get discount, then why not buy your CDs on Band CD or any other CD company? The benefit of Elastic Stage is meant to be that it's print on demand. You're not held hostage to these minimum amounts like 20 or 50. You know, you can buy 5 or 2 or whatever. But as an artist, you can't buy 5 or 2 at discount. That makes no sense. What Elastic Stage could do, which would be really beneficial for the artist, because it's not supporting the little artist. Little artists can't afford to buy loads of CDs, which is why they're using Elastic Stage in the first place. But they can't also buy 5 CDs at a discounted price and then make a profit selling them to an audience, a gig or something like that. So that doesn't actually work as a business model for supporting small artists. Point 2, on their website, when you've sold products, obviously eventually you will get the royalties for the products about a month or 2 after, but you can't actually withdraw any money from Elastic Stage until you have £25 worth of royalties in your account section on the website. Great, again, if you have a following of people and enough people are going to buy your CD, so you get £25 worth of royalties. But again, the benefit of Elastic Stage is supposedly meant to be more for the smaller person. If you are a smaller person, a smaller artist with less people following you, and maybe it's just a few friends and family who might buy your CD, what if you don't get to £25 worth of royalties? How do you ever withdraw that money? So if you don't make £25 within royalties, does that mean you can't ever withdraw the money? That's a question I'd like to have answered by Elastic Stage. On Amazon Print on Demand, and yes, I know Amazon is a much bigger, more established company, but you get your royalties at the end of the month, regardless of how much it is. So it might only be £2.50, but you still get your royalties. There's no minimum amount. So I don't understand why they've done that. If you never reach £25, that means whatever CDs you sell, you never ever got paid any royalties from it. So the customer's got your CD, great, they're all happy, but the effort you put into creating the music, creating the CD, the artwork, uploading it, you don't get anything for that. So there are flaws with this website. The product, like I said, is really good. It feels really, really well done. Are they aiming at people who can't afford to buy 10, 20, 50, 100 CDs? Or is it just a gimmick? It feels quite gimmicky because print on demand means you can buy as many or as little as you want. And the artist, in my opinion, or the producer of the CD, should be allowed to get their CDs at a discounted price regardless of how many they buy. Leave a comment down below if you agree, or if you don't agree, say why and explain your reasons why you don't agree with me. Personally, I think artists should be allowed to have some kind of discount on their CDs so they can sell it at gigs and stuff. It's called Elastic Stage. So artists play on a stage and they sell merch at the end of it. So a bit of a rant there at the end. I am actually genuinely pleased with the service Elastic Stage has offered. If it wasn't for Elastic Stage, I wouldn't have a single copy of my CD, and my mate wouldn't have a single copy on vinyl of our album we've put together. So if only me and him buy it, we have a record now of a project we did together. Planning on doing more projects, if not just for the love of the music. So thank you to Elastic Stage for giving us the option for print on demand CDs and vinyls. I will be checking out the band CD website. If I think that there is a need to have more than one copy of my album, then I will definitely get some printed with band CD. And when I do that, I'm going to compare the two products, the band CD and the Elastic Stage CD, and see which one I think is the better product. If you found this video useful and you'd like to support the channel, subscribe and like the video. Obviously I've been here flogging my CD throughout the whole of the video. If you like the sound of the music, then obviously check out some of my other videos. I do have live performances using some of the electronics gear I have here. If you feel so inclined, go onto Elastic Stage and buy a copy of my CD. Don't worry, I've put it on the full price, which is the lowest price, not the premium or the deluxe. I'm Tempered Truth. My mate's Jez Sugars. Hopefully see you in the next video.